the ground on Saturday, bumped into the chairman, who had quite a broad smile on his face, surprisingly.
Why surprisingly?
I guess everybody's breathing a little bit easier after Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, we all know the situation and we all know what we've got to do, and I think everybody, from the tea lady to the chairman, if we had a tea lady, knew that any result at Leyton Orient was going to be a super result for us at this stage of the season and our state of play. So yeah, and he came on the bus and said well done to everybody, because we don't always see the board of directors. You know, like I'm doing interviews after the game, and then we got on the bus. They've got to get their car home and all that sort of thing. So, but I think the directors felt that they should come on and say well done, because it was a big effort, and a big effort by all of us. You know, I always say about how long does it take to get to Leyton Orient? Do you know what I mean? From us, so the supporters, the board of directors, who don't get paid to travel all that way, have supported us, and the supporters and the directors deserve the result as much as anybody else. So you know, I'm pleased he had a smile on his face. Probably had wind.
Other results went generally well for you at the weekend. Are you still reasonably interested in how the other sides at the bottom six, say, are doing? Yeah,
you've got to. There's always points lost somewhere along the line. So 2 teams draw, then 2 points have gone, gone missing for somebody. So I'm always looking at the opposition's results and the games that are coming up, and etc. etc. So you have to have a real overall picture of the current situation and the sort of immediate future situation, because it doesn't affect how you pick your teams and all that, but it's just of interest. Of course, we pick our teams to win every game, and that's what we try and put our teams out to do. But you also have to keep an eye on whether the other team's got any injuries, or whether they're going to make any changes, whether they're on form, not on form. I mean, we're doing very well at the moment in current form. I think we're in the newspaper one anyway. We was, I think, 6th, 7th. In the last 6 games, current form. So that's good for the lads to see.
And touch wood, not too bad on injuries either.
No, we're going to have to get Gavin Crowe at a minute, a part-time job, because he's got nobody to work with. That's not true. He's still doing his bits and pieces, and he's got people fit, which is good. I mean, I've always said that department's working very well, and all departments working well, and I'm just hoping that it's good enough to see us through, and if it does, then we've progressed from the season that we got relegated from this league. So, but as I say, we're not celebrating just yet. It's only a smile, and we've got to make sure that we're playing with that same passion and desire that we did in the last 2 games.
Talking about injuries and the lack of them, I suppose that increases your selection options on the one hand, but if the form is steady, some people are going to have to be patient, aren't they?
Well, some people have had to be patient. I've said that after the last reserve game, I felt that 4 or 5 of them, well, all of them actually, that are on the bench are ready, and they're desperate to play. I know that. They haven't got to tell me. I knock on my door. But when you've won a couple of games, it's probably easier to select your team than it is when you've lost a couple of games, because you don't want to spoil the continuity of keep changing the team. Nobody gets an opportunity to, have that time to get themselves into it. So I just have to manage it, which is what a manager has to do, of course.
We know you spend your Sundays sort of analysing the Saturday game. Did the result paper over anything which you saw in your sort of reruns of the action?
No, because I think, as I said before, if Man United play Liverpool, Man United don't get all the play and Liverpool never have a chance. There's always a chance at one end and a chance at the other end, and our league is no different. All leagues are no different. You just got to have that little bit of quality in the end that gets you the goal. I mean, when he showed Winchester showed the quality to strike the ball in the corner of the net when a few of their shots missed the goal. And the ones that didn't miss the goal didn't miss our keeper. He was in the way. So looking at the highlights, there were some real good highlights, and we had some good opportunities, and they had some good opportunities. And I think that's how games go, you know, and you just got to hope that your team's ability pulls one out the bag like we did on the day.
Carlisle have been up the top pretty much all season since you played them in August. I think they've only lost 5. Is that organisation why they've done so well? Because they had a long unbeaten run at the start, didn't they?
I think they've only lost 2 away. I think, and they've drawn a lot away, by the way, and that generally tells you is good organisation. I think, you know, they'll play a particular game that they're comfortable with, and you know, whether they have to adjust this week because of injuries, we'll have to wait and see. But at the moment, they're going very, very well, and they're in a automatic promotion place. But they know there's a few teams creeping up behind them. You know, Portsmouth especially. You know, got the result against them Saturday, so they'll see it that they need to quickly get this another win. So we've got to be very aware that they need this win.
I'm sure you've clocked that both their centre-backs went off at the weekend, both Brisley and Rains,
yeah.
And they haven't got long to recover, have they?
No, they haven't, just a couple of days. You know, one was a calf injury and one was a cut. So, you know, cuts can be covered up a little bit. Calf injuries probably take longer, unless you just had a bit of cramp or something. But either way, at this stage of the season, losing 1 or 2 of your centre backs is always difficult to sort out.
Have they changed their forward play much since Charlie White went to Bradford and they brought Proctor in?
No, they like to get the ball forward still. They got some clever players just behind their front player, and they have, you know, good movement, and you've got to be aware of them. When we went to Carlisle, there must have been 500 crosses come into our box that we had to deal with, and you know, we got a draw that day, but we got a draw that day, didn't we? Felt a little bit like we'd nicked it, not a little bit, quite a lot, because they did put a lot of crosses in, and we had to deal with it, and saw it through and got a point. So, but both teams will need 3 points this week.
And